Wow, I've got no words for what just happened this morning. Genuinely insane. We have not seen a market like this, I'll say, in over a year. Easily over a year. And I'm super excited for what's to come. We're going to break down every single trade that I took this morning. It was a massive day today. The team absolutely crushed it. I'm looking forward to hopefully a hot rest of the month. It's been insane. And so let's go ahead and dive into it. Of course, yesterday we had the big runner on Octo that ran 5,500%. Well, today was no different. CWD also ran a few thousand%. I didn't really play that, but that action still played out everywhere else. So crazy day. Let's go and dive into it. Definitely not a video you want to miss. This market is absurd. It almost feels like COVID again. It's like right now. Everything is just working. So let's go ahead and dive into it and break it all down. Now, I want to start here in order, actually. We'll start from pre-market going into the open. And A was the main runner today, but the main one I was watching into the open was BON. We'll save the best for last. And so BON was pretty good. I was a little bit hesitant with how this was trading into market open. We actually had a pretty good setup here. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you can actually see it more clearly. Hold on 1 second. And so this started to pop up going into market open. And what we had happen here was a pretty nice setup. We had these higher lows form here off the bottoms. Then we had this nice sort of flat top form off the high. Now, of course, all through here, we know there are nothing but sellers overhead. And so, again, we can anticipate that, again, we're going to find sellers here as well. And so I sort of knew this is going to do this at market open for the most part. And we had a really good entry down here off of trendline support initially. And I left a little bit of money on the table because you can see how it traded here. We took the entry off the pullback at 269, risking the bottom of this candle at 255. And I got a move here to about 285, and then it rejected off of VWAP. That was my game plan here. I was just looking for a reclaim of VWAP, which I got, so I really can't be too mad about this. And then it breaks up through VWAP out of market open. I take a little pullback entry, and then I'm able to take a really small win here from, as you can see, from 295 back to 315. So played this well, small win, because again, we knew we had sellers sitting off the highs here. Gives you an area to look to take profit if we begin to reject. And so not a whole lot of range here really once we get up past this opening high, but nonetheless, still an amazing trade here. I'm pretty happy with it. This is actually the smallest of the morning now. But moving on into the actual good stuff here, the ones that actually had some meat on the bone, we'll start with JEM, we'll go to MGIH, and then we'll end on MMA, which was the most obvious stock of the morning that I think will provide the most educational opportunities. This here on JEM was amazing too. Now, I left some money on the table here in pre-market. I came back with a vengeance and was actually able to do it, make it happen. Now, I took this back in pre-market here. As you can see, we had some higher lows put in place with some awesome wicks off the lows. So I was looking for the breakout back to VWAP here up towards 80 cents. And unfortunately, from the time frame of 9 to 9:30, that time for me is specifically spent on planning for market to open. And so I'm in this looking for that breakup higher, and it's just taking a little bit too long. I'm in this for like 4 or 5 minutes. And I'm like, look, it's not breaking. It's not doing anything yet. So let me just get out of this and I'll go finish planning and I can come back to it. Well, guess what? It ends up hitting my targets and I leave so much money on the table. Now I make some money on it, but not that much. But after market open, it sets up again and I crushed it. So what happens? We find a seller off the highs here off of VWAP. And so we have a pretty interesting looking setup here where this is getting super tight off the moving average. Look at this. Higher low. I notice it start to, again, really coil up here off the moving average. We have the 90 MA here right beneath price. And so very similar to yesterday on Octo, where I caught a $23 move on Octo, insane. Really almost identical setup here. Took it off the little coiled wedge here off the 90 MA for the breakup higher because I was looking for it to squeeze shorts over VWAP. And that's exactly what happened here. It actually got squeezing shorts over VWAP and actually halted up. And so I was able to capture it here from 79 all the way to about 91 cents. Again, just playing the simple break of VWAP with super tight risk off the bottom of this candle. Overall in at 78, risking off of 77, only 2 cents a share of risk, and got to move here to 92 cents a share. I mean, just insane. These are things that you just can't make up. You know, this action is just simply absurd. And then we went on after this on JEM over to MGIH at market open. This thing was also amazing. But again, this is not even the best setup out there today. The best setup out there was MMA. This is just, these are mediocre in comparison. And so we go over here to MGIH, and we're looking at the opening high here, the pre-market high, excuse me, where we have this past high from pre-market sitting here off of 320. And so what I'm looking for here is a break over that 320 for it to give us a little pivot. You can see right here. I'm looking for it to break and give us a nice pullback to confirm, and it actually does just that. Now, I get in a little bit higher than I wanted. I really wanted this at the bottom of this range here, around 320 or so, but I got in here around 330. 329 was the fill, and again, risking off the bottom of this candle here, so about 20-ish cents of risk. And I capture a move here initially up to the highs. I get a break to the previous high, and I get a move to 354. And then, of course, we see price pull back. I'm looking for that break of 3.5 to get the break of 3.6. I get adding over that high for the break back higher, and we actually get a move here all the way up to really 450. But I tried to leave some runners in this to let it move a little bit higher. And again, I was just sort of trailing stops at these 1-minute lows. And so as this happens, my system says if the candle breaks to a new high like this and then instantly rejects back beneath, that is my sign to take my profit. And so as you can see here, as soon as we fell back beneath that previous candle's high, took my profit right here over $4 a share from a 320s entry. So again, amazing trade, but this is not even the biggest one of the morning. Check this out. MMA. Dude, when I tell you I could not ask for a better setup, I could not have asked for a better setup. This thing was absolutely amazing. And so very similar to JEM, you'll notice here, this is almost identical to the setup we talked about a few minutes ago. We have these two hammers off the low here to confirm these higher lows. Look at this, higher low. And we're also curling over the 50 moving average on 1 minute time frame. So we have this double bottom put in place here with higher lows and holding off of the 50 moving average. And we have defined range back up into the previous high underneath VWAP. So we have this, oh my God, it's a perfect setup here where we've got price, higher lows, double bottom. We have range back up to VWAP. So I'm going to take the entry off the pullback to 183, risking off the past low of 170, and I get a move here all the way back to 230. And so again, I'm like, oh my God, this price action out here at this point, this is later in the morning after everything else I've already gone over. Everything's just working and everything is just compounding, building after the next. And we're just taking this day up to a pretty crazy day. And then again, after price rejects off the high, it pulls back. We see it put in place a bottom again. Again, we have higher low. And so understanding this trendline support underneath share price, I'm able to take it again. Take it again from $2, risking off the bottom of this past low at 180, 20 cents a share of risk. And I get a move here all the way to 265. This is unbelievable. You can't make this stuff up. And so I'm able to get an add over VWAP. Look at this. It breaks over VWAP, pulls back perfectly. I get an add back over VWAP for the break back higher. And I get a break back all the way into 260. This is just unbelievable action. At this point in the morning, I'm just honestly just in awe of the action that we're seeing out there. I'm able to scalp it a little bit off these pullbacks too. You can see it over VWAP. I'm just taking little dip and rips off of VWAP to see if we couldn't get the break higher. We didn't, but pretty self-explanatory entries here. You can see VWAP right beneath price. I'm just taking weakness, selling up into strength. You can see 1, 2, 3 times, and then eventually I was out full once it began to chop around. I just wrapped up for the day. But when I tell you this market is insanely hot, it is actually unbelievable how much action, how much opportunity we're seeing out there. And so I really hope you guys are able to take a part of it today, but it was insane. And so that's the morning recap. Amazing day. Not a whole lot more to say about it, but I hope that you guys are able to capitalize. If you did not, make sure to subscribe for daily content just like this, and make sure to claim access to your 7-day free trial to watch me trade stocks just like this in real time every single day. Get my watch list, get the alerts, get the chat room, get the education, and so much more. You can find that link down in the description below. And that being said, let's have an amazing rest of the trading week, and I will see you guys there tomorrow.